So if you just watched my last video, I had the same shirt on because the sun is going away and I wanted to hurry up and make this video before I ran out of sun and battery. But anyway, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about the fact that bigotry of low expectations is still bigotry. Just saying. I want you guys to see this video, and I was going to make a separate video saying like whether voter IDs are racist or not, so I guess this is sort of like that topic as well, is voter IDs racist, and maybe I'll make a separate video about that. But I just want you to watch this video for a second.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far to say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, an ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data? Mm-hmm. You can access the internet
unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process of it.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm hearing a lot.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, but you're judging them because they're black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, "Can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are"? Are you cool?
Love showing my ID.
You got no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, "Can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are"? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
About you, but as a black person, I was extremely disgusted by what I just saw. here you go, having a bunch of white, progressive, lefty, liberal allies, the black and the minority and black and brown people, saying what they actually believe. This is what they believe about the black community. This is what they believe about black people. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? But this is what happens when black people lay down and accept this whole label of victimhood and oppression. This is how you get seen, as an imbecile, as illiterate, as you can't do shit on your own, as like you're like a little child that need like white people to come and take you by the hand and like help you along in life. That's how they see you. And that's not the first time I've heard white people say stuff like that. And I know I'm saying white people, but not in a racist way. I'm saying white people because those are the progressives over there doing this stuff. But like, you know, I was watching a video not too long ago with Sargon of Akkad and Contra, and he was making some good points, but she just kept saying like, but you know, because you know, black people though, like they're poor and they don't have education and they don't have dads, and that's how she saw black people. And yes, there is a problem with fatherless homes in the black community. There's a problem with low-income families in the black community, but there's a problem with low-income families in the white community, and fatherless homes is actually growing at a rapid rate in white communities. It's a problem, but that's, you can tell, like when she thought black, that is what she thought. She thought poor, fatherless, uneducated. That is how she saw black people, and that's how a lot of progressive, like liberals, like act. And if you think about like even the whole like voter ID thing, like when it first came out, I remember watching like the Daily Show or Jon Stewart. I used to like be big fans of them, and if they didn't become such cucks, I would still be probably big fans of them. But I remember when it first came out and they were saying how racist it was, and I was like, yeah, it's so racist. It's so racist. But when you really think about it, what's so racist about voter ID? And I know it is, well, there's a lot of low-income people that can't afford voter ID. Do you know how many people have a cell phone? Like, almost everybody. And yeah, I don't have the numbers for that, but like a lot of fucking people have cell phones. I've been in low-income neighborhoods. I've been in like the ghettos. And people had cell phones, brand new shoes, cars, big screen TVs, PlayStations, eating at McDonald's all the time, going shopping, going out to drinks, having house parties. Like, so even though they might go around and go like, oh, I can't afford my ID, but you can afford that cell phone, you can afford the shoes, you can afford to eat, you can afford that flat screen TV, you can afford that car, you can afford the gas in your car. There's public transportation. And so the fact of the matter is of saying like, oh, there's so many black people that don't have these, it might just because those people were irresponsible and didn't go get their IDs. If they really wanted to vote and if there was really something important to them, they can sell their phones, they can sell their shoes, they can go to fucking Buffalo Exchange and exchange some of their clothes and get themselves an ID. An ID is not that expensive. I had an ID when I was 16 years old, and I've had an ID ever since then. So the fact of the matter is like saying like voter IDs is racist is bullshit. Voter IDs is basically bigotry of low expectations. Basically saying like, oh, but black people don't know how to make themselves ways to the DMV because they're like, they have small brains, and I don't know, like I don't like. Why would you want to be seen like that? Why would you want to be seen as a child, as a little child who constantly needs a hand up in the world, that can't do anything for themselves? Why wouldn't you have higher expectations for yourself, for your children, and for your community? I actually was listening to a guy on YouTube, and he was talking about Evergreen, and I have like a little video on my channel about Evergreen, and he was saying like, you know, he was very, very enthusiastic about the topics in his class, and he was very, very active in his classroom. And so every time the teacher had a question for the students or in participation activities, he would be like the first one in his hand up, like, yeah, like I know the answer, and he was very enthusiastic. And one time, and this is a white straight male, by the way, and one time the teacher came up to him and said, can you not maybe raise your hand so many times, because the fact that you are a white straight male answering questions intimidates the black and brown students from answering questions. So can you step back a little bit? Like, can you not show how smart you are so like other people feel smarter? It's again a bigotry of low expectations. Instead of allowing those students and telling them they need to be more competitive if they want to get their answers heard, if they want to get their voices heard, if they want to be more active in the classroom, then they have to have their own high expectations and their own high standards for themselves to be more active in the classroom. Instead of doing that, which will be more helpful to those students when becoming an adult and getting into the real world and the work environment. No, they tell the other students, the non-black students, that they need to just cover up their smartness so other people feel better about themselves. Bigotry of low expectations. Basically, black people can't be as smart, they can't be as active, they can't be as aggressive in workplace or their classroom, so we have to like dumb down everyone else so they feel better. That's a bigotry of low expectations. You should have the same expectations that you have for white people, for Asian people, for Hispanic people, or whatever that you have for black and brown people. The same exact expectations. Now, if you feel like a black person comes from a low-income family, maybe they didn't have a dad, maybe they didn't have as much support, you can design programs in that school for tutoring, for after-school programs, and it's up to that person to want to take on that extra help. But you do not just like, you don't curve the graves. You don't like make things easier to help black and brown people. You keep things at the same level of difficulty and you encourage them to meet that level. That is bigotry of low expectations. And it's so funny how progressives are so unaware of this, that they are just bigots and racist as all the white people that they keep talking about. Their bigotry and their racism is just harder to spot, and they're just less aware of it. I know their hearts are in the right place for the most part, but they don't actually understand the harm that they're actually doing. They're doing way more harm than they're doing good. And I'm not just saying it's white people, it's black people too. And you know, I said in another video, like, what's wrong with giving your child really, really, really high standards? Not like psychologically damning high standards where like they can't do anything right, but you know, if you believe like the world is already tilted a certain way, if you already believe like, okay, things are already not as fair as they should be, then you should be implementing high standards for your child, for your community, and for yourself. Everybody needs to be held to the high standards. And again, if you think someone is coming in handicapped, then there's other programs you can create for those people so they can catch up. But you don't put down standards to meet someone else's level because you don't expect that they'll ever be able to meet those standards. If you look at a black person and you just expect that they won't be able to read at the same level ever, or they won't be able to compete at the same pace as all the white people, then you are treating them less than. You're treating them like an other. This bigotry of low expectations needs to stop. I don't want someone to look at my black skin and immediately think, oh, I need to roll back so they'll be able to catch up. I don't want someone to look at my black skin and immediately think, okay, she probably didn't have a dad, she probably doesn't have a good education, she probably grew up poor. Like, what the fuck? It's racist to think that. It's racist to put every black person in the same fucking cookie cutter box. We're not all the same. And so, anyway, like that movie, what's the movie Orange and the New Black, where the Asian girl was dating like Poontang, you know what I'm talking about, the one who sadly died, who got suffocated by the security guard in that season before the last. And there was one scene when the girl sort of just assumed that she came from a fatherless, poor, broken home. And she was like, wait a minute. Like, you think that's me? Like, she actually grew up in a two-parent good home. Like, she went to a good school. And the Asian girl was like, oh, I just assumed because you're black. Like, I just assumed. And she's, like, that Asian girl came in, like, she was the epitome of, like, what progressives are today. It's like, I just assumed that because I've been told by society and I've been told by my school and all my professors how poor and how oppressed and how victimized black people are. So I just assumed that you had a really crappy life. And again, that is not true for everybody. Like, a lot of us grow up in so many different ways. So like, anyway, this is a short video and I'm kind of rambling. It just kind of like pisses me off every time I see something like that. It's like, why are you just putting this all in this like one box, this one label? Anyway, like this is a short video. I just wanted to say that, like, the bigotry of low expectations is bigotry still. If you guys agree with me or disagree with me, please put it in the comment section box below. If you like this video, please like it, and if you like this video, please share it, because I feel like YouTube is sort of choking off my channel and it kind of sucks. So you just spread it out a little bit. And if you want to continue to have these type of conversations with moi, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. And you can find my Twitter and my PayPal link down below. If you want to support free speech, you can donate. If not, just subscribe and come back, and I hope to see you again. And until next time, thank you.
Suckers with the gab about